Hey everybody, Anansi here with the Top 100 Dotabuff Replay Cast. In this series, I take a look at a top 100 Dotabuff player in a respective hero and try to learn something, see what I can learn from a really experienced player. These players have a minimum of 1,000 games played roundabout and really high win rates, and I try to make sure that they are not professional players. So today we're going to be talking about Sven, or we're going to be watching Sven. The player playing him will be 221B, and we're going to watch everything from his perspective. Let's see, right here. We're just going to see how he does what he does, and hopefully learn something from him. At the moment, Sven has jumped up significantly in win rate. I think he's jumped by about 8%, pick rate as well, so everybody will be seeing a lot of Svens. So this is for my teammates, the guys I coach, to hopefully get an understanding of why Sven is so powerful, and also what you can do to stop him. So we're just gonna watch this guy. He should be able to play this hero to a T, and we'll see what we can learn from him. So to start off with, he has 180 gold that he hasn't spent. He seems to have a decent amount of regen. I've seen him start with what he has there plus a mango and a health potion before, so he does adjust the way he starts, but he does at least start with tangos and a stout shield. What I see here as well is he started with Stormhammer, second game in a row. I usually wait until I get into lane to see who my opponents are, and then I decide whether or not I need the stun, whether or not I can get a kill, or if I just want to farm and I get the cleave. But what I saw him do in his previous game, in any case, is get 2 points in Stormhammer and only start maxing cleave quite a bit later. He also got 1 point in Warcry, so we'll see what he does. But looking at his lane mates, I think Stormhammer is pretty solid because he can definitely get some quick, some early kills in combination with them. He picks up a hatchet from the side shop really quickly, so that was why he saved some gold. And looks like he's going for Helm of the Dominator. There are quite a lot of people. There we go. That's why you had the Stormhammer, but no combos. Maybe no Ice Path. No, probably not enough. I'm not sure they could have killed him there. Maybe waiting with the stun until after Magnus tried to get away. In any case, useful thing about not getting cleave straight away is you don't push the lane right from the beginning. I can see the value in that, and I think that's quite a smart choice. So me being the noob 4K player that I am, will probably be already implementing that in my future Sven play. Hopefully he doesn't get nerfed too early, and I can actually make use of this. That looks like a bit of a misplay, but I guess he doesn't care. Okay, yeah, Warcry will save him. So Warcry increases movement speed and buffs armor. So the tower barely did any damage. A squishier hero would have died there, for sure. His teammates are able to output quite some pressure. They're stacking, it seems like, or at least busy with the jungle for him, and Ricky is trying to stop them. Sven's power lies in his ability to farm camps. So he wants to max Great Cleave as early as he can, and then just take tons of camps, preferably ancient camps, because as soon as he has his ult, he can take those down pretty quickly. In combination with two supports that are pretty, I don't know, I'd say standard. They're not too mobile, so they're not going to be running around the map too much. It's not like he has a spear breaker next to him, so they're just going to be putting up stacks and helping him get more farms. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw there real quick, but he moved a little bit to the left there as his supports were pulling. That was really nice because he attempted at least to make sure that his enemies' creeps would aggro him and move this way, so that his creeps would go there. He was a little bit too slow, but it was a good attempt in any case in helping his supports be more effective at what they're doing, instead of just standing there or just moving back and waiting till his creeps met and then, yeah, there would have been less deny. In any case, at the very least, his lane is pulled back a little bit further, and I do see him preferring to be kind of defensive and farm up. That's something I saw him do in the previous game as well. So this game again, 2 points in Stormhammer, and I think maybe he gets one more Warcry, but he'll probably be starting to max his Great Cleave soon. I see this time he got his boots first. Last time I think I saw him getting regen items first, but I guess he's not getting harassed very much. There's just a solo melee Magnus against him, so there isn't a reason, there's no pressure needed, so he might as well get the movement speed to make sure he gets to the creeps that he wants to get to. Helps him farm faster. Let's see. He does go for the Helm of... what he did in the previous game was go for the Helm of the Dominator really quickly, so that he could start stacking for himself, but we'll see that. We'll talk about what he does there in a bit. You see him cutting down some trees here and there. Actually, it might seem useless, but it does mean he's a little bit safer from a potential gank. Like the offlaner can't be hiding here, leeching his experience, or at least has a harder time hiding there. So there's actually some significance in cutting down these trees, because it makes it easier for his teammates to help him, to help zone the offlaner, or at least know where the offlaner is. So it looks like it's something that might be useless, but yeah, not so much. Picked up a ring of health from the side shop really quickly. That's very efficient. At least I think it was from the side shop, but in any case, he got it first. He had an easy lane, so he goes for the more expensive item first. If you're having a tough time, then you probably lean towards getting your ring of regen and finishing your headdress ASAP. Let's see, what did he start? Yeah, he has his cleave now, so he's just gonna start last hitting away. We should probably see how he compares to the rest of the game. He's on top in last hits and denies. He's 5 ahead of the anti-mage, and he's got 9 more denies, which in this day and age, because he gets a 30% bonus, means that he has a decent amount of bonus XP over his opponents. Quite good. Headdress on its way, and he's probably just gonna get his Helm of the Dominator as quickly as possible, and then start farming away. It should be noted, this is a solo game, so he doesn't have any teammates with him. He can do this when he's by himself, so this is some stuff that, as long as your opponents aren't screwing with you too much, you can execute this yourself as well. You're actually rather self-sufficient as long as you don't have a ton of lane harass. So he does output pressure on the offlaner. He doesn't just let the guy farm the whole time. He is when there's nothing to kill specifically, he does help his teammates in harassing, and gets a bit of gold for himself. His headdress is there. He can probably pick up his Helmet Dominator. He gets it as quickly as possible. Note that he doesn't go all the way to the side shop. As soon as he's in range of the side shop, he gets his item. So that's just a little bit of efficiency, so that in between creep waves, you can buy an item and you won't miss a single last hit. He's pretty far ahead of that anti-mage right now. And that's something you should, if you don't do it already, you should definitely make sure you do. Which creep did he dominate? Range creep, as he should. So, range creeps are really, how would I say it, comfortable. They're quite nice in the distance that they have from an ancient camp, and so they can stack really easily. Just for 1 second, I'm gonna move away and show you guys. So here is his range creep, and on time he'll stack this. And you'd rather have a range creep than a melee. If you can't get just a lane creep, you get a dark troll summoner, for example. But in any case, this is how he's gonna keep stacking. So he does this in between last hits. So I guess he wasn't too focused there. Usually he's doing other stuff, but he makes sure to stack with a range creep because it's just really nice. You also give it a health buff, so it has 1400 HP. Wow, that's a pretty tanky range creep. Go back to player perspective. His stack missed, however, and that he will already know, and is probably already pinging that. Yeah, see, he's pinging right now. He's brown. That was him pinging. He knows there's a ward there, and he's telling his friends and his teammates. If we look at the dire vision, camera, that doesn't seem to work. Odd. Okay, there seems to be a bug there, but I've selected their ward for now. In any case, they have a ward here. You can see it on the minimap. Oh, there we go. Now we can see it. So that's blocking, and sure enough, his teammate shows up and dewards this ASAP. It is important that you tell your teammates to deward this, because every time you can't stack, that's a wasted stack. And that is how you counter a Sven, guys. You make sure that he can't get his stacks up, because a Sven without farm is not that scary, or in the past at least wasn't that scary. That was the way to stop him. So we'll go back to player perspective. And he's been farming up. He has about 1k saved up. He could buy his treads from the side shop, but because he has 1000 saved up, because that was safe, he went instead for his Echo Saber and bought the Ogre Club, because it's harder to save up, for those of you who don't already apply this, it's harder to save up 1000 gold than it is to save up 500 2 times. So if you're having an easy time, you save up for the more expensive item, and if you're having a harder time, you get cheaper, smaller items, just to make sure that you are increasing the amount of power that you have throughout the game and earlier on in the game, so that you can continue to farm as quickly as possible. So he bought the most expensive part of his Echo Saber first, and is probably going to get that sent over. Other thing, Sven is a really great pusher this patch. This is one of the things due to recent changes in the way in the way creeps work, in the way towers work. Sorry, solo pushers are a lot better than they used to be. Creeps pushing are also a lot better than they used to be, and Sven can buff both. He can give his creeps armor right before he maybe goes and farms a jungle camp, which is really powerful because his creeps can take more hits, and given the decreased armor that towers have, his creeps will effectively do more damage because they survive longer. Then there's the fact that his ult, him being a solo hero, he can output a lot of damage at level 6 already. He can solo push a tower, and that tower will have less armor than it used to have back in the day, a few patches ago. So his ability to push is one of the reasons that his win rate has gone up. What he's doing now, well, what he's about to be doing soon, is the second reason that his win rate has gone up, especially this patch, is that camps can be stacked every minute now. So him needing a ton of farm means that the fact that there are more camps that can be stacked allow him to hit his power spikes more quickly. There are enough creeps for him to get the gold that he needs. I don't know if you guys could see on the minimap a few seconds ago, but yeah, there you Ricky is actually right on top of him, leeching his XP. So Ricky is decreasing the effectiveness of what Sven wants to do. He's slowing him down. So this guy does have a Ricky who is leeching the XP from these ancients the whole time. So you'll see that Sven is probably still pretty successful in what he needs to do, but note that there are people who are slowing him down and realize what he's doing. So it's pretty impressive that he'll still probably overcome this. Yeah, Ricky walked in range of some rev wards, so he knows that that XP is being leeched, and he hopes to catch him right under the ward. But I think Ricky probably has an idea that this might be warded, that spot. So he's just going to continue trying to stack whatever he can. Here he's actually, no, not double stacking, that's gonna fail. I think, does he miss a stack? Ooh. Oh boy, he actually missed stacking the Ancients there, so that's a missed stack, that's a misplay. But maybe too focused on the Riki. So that's a side note. Riki attracts quite a lot of mental attention. And he missed an Ancient stack there, which means that's, I don't know, what, 200 gold or something? That Riki has slowed the Sven down by, just by getting in his head and taking his focus away from what he wants to be doing, which is stacking. Should be noted, I did see him do this better in the other game, in the other replay I watched, is nowadays, not only in this most recent patch are there camps spawning every minute, but since 7.0 there are 4 ancient camps on the whole map. So Sven was already great at taking stacks, but now there are he has 2 stacks that he has 2 ancient camps that he could be stacking on his side of the map. And when there was somebody trying to slow him down on the closest ancient camp, he sent his creep to the other one. I don't see him doing that this game, but that is something you could apply in your Sven games if you're on that. So he's finished his Echo Saber, probably from the side shop. Aside from the Ogre Club, you can finish your Echo Saber from the side shop, so that makes it a very efficient item to be using. It means the courier is not going to be used as much, and your teammates have more courier time if that's something they really they might need, because they should be having a harder time than the carry. Note that he has maxed his Great Cleave already, and he's maxing Stormhammer actually, so I guess he's going for more burst damage, more stun time. And he's not too worried about maxing Warcry too early. I think if there was a heavy physical damage lineup against him, like if there was someone like a PA, then maybe, I don't know, maybe you would want the armor. But then again, the extra stun magic damage time could also be pretty solid against someone like a PA. He's just gonna keep on farming it up. Still looking for his power treads. Looking to finish them up. Not really looking to kill the Magnus there, but just stopping the push, enjoying the farm. If Magnus would have stayed, he probably would have died there. So, good pressure. Ooh, missed the catapult. Looks like he's going for Blink Dagger next. If you see, he has 2 items lined up in his quick buy down here. I guess if he gets into trouble, he'll just buy the Steam Boost, so he's prepared for that. But if he can get away with it, he'll get the Blink Dagger. So that's a pretty... those are the types of safeties you can take to ensure that you get that you get the max out of your farm. That you don't lose anything in case you get ganked all of a sudden. So even though seems to be having a pretty easy and comfortable game, he's doing well. Should also note, he's usually not focused on his creep camps. He's looking at the map. He's looking at his rev wards. He's looking at his teammates. He doesn't really need to focus on these camps. These camps aren't going to kill him. So he's just keeping an eye on how the game is going. What are his teammates up to? He's checking the items of his opponents, of his own teammates. He's checking on his Wraith King. So the whole time, he's keeping his eye on the game, and will probably get involved in case he, or he will at least have an idea of what it is he needs to do. So I think that's what, 3-4 camps or so. It's okay to ult for this. I see him sometimes even stunning them because they're not magic immune anymore. So you can AoE stun the crit. Ooh. You can AoE stun the Ancients. That was pretty nice. Great job on the Crystal Maiden rotating with the dust there. Riki pretty much just became an extra creep there. That was not really too great, but and then taunting a little bit. Puny Riki. So everybody knows what Riki's trying to do. He's just trying to slow the guy down, but he ends up feeding the Sun, which is unfortunate for the guy. And yeah, Little does Ricky know. I have to give quite some credit to these supports, this Jakiro and this Crystal Maiden, for really playing it the way they should. Notice again, I guess he lost his the creep that he wanted to be stacking with, so he dominated a different one. But again, it is a ranged creep, right? It is a creep that can comfortably kill or hit the ancients if if he only has a second or two to get there. Okay, balls in. I don't know about this. I'm curious. Damn. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, that was fine. That's a good moment to highlight one of the other reasons that Sven is extremely strong now, which is that his ult used to give only a damage buff increase, which has been decreased since this last patch, I think by about 20% at every level. However, in return, he has gotten a strength buff. So he ults, he gets a damage buff, but he also gets a strength buff. And in total, maybe that makes up for the 20% that he lost, but it does at the least make him more tanky. As you can see, bonus strength is 12, 24, 36. So he gets 12 strength at every level when he ults. So he's a lot harder to kill than he used to be. And I think, at least in that situation right there, he would have died back in the day, because he only had about, what, 200 HP or something? Maybe 300. So again, he just keeps going back to stacking. And while Ricky tried his best, the rest of his team, the rest of the opponent's team isn't really contributing to keeping this Sven down. Last hits and denies, he's still on top. His teammates are second and third, so this looks like it's gonna be a pretty comfortable win. Now that he has his Blink Dagger, he can join fights by blinking in, stunning, and ulting, as you saw in the previous fight. And he's got his BKB lined up, so he does see the necessity to be magic immune. I'd say that's primarily because of the Ricky Smoke Cloud mischance that offers if he BKBs. I think in any case that will no longer affect him. And yeah, I mean, Ogre can be annoying as well, but I don't think that would have been the biggest of issues. I think you can't, probably can't get him prisoner. OD, it's pretty handy to stop him as well. While he's farming, he's also pushing, so that's an implicit way of applying pressure. It's not, you're not ganking, but you are pressuring your opponent in a way that forces a reaction. He just made OD TP over to a tier 2. OD did not stop him from taking the tier 2, but OD, their mid hero, is now not ganking the rest of his team, is not pushing bottom, is not killing supports. So he's contributing to his team's, to his team, even though he's farming. And that's a key thing you should be doing as Sven. You shouldn't be only farming the jungle, because then your opponents can do whatever they want. I think he'll jump it back in about 10 seconds, or maybe less. Okay, he waits patiently, still waiting patiently, holding on, waiting for his ult to be up. And now he's ready to go in. Sure enough. So that was pretty key, I think. He waited until his ult was definitely up before he jumped in, because it probably would have been a waste to jump in and then potentially get controlled or something a few seconds before his ult went up. Wow, jeez, give him a courier too, why don't you? Cargo where? But in any case, it was important there that he waited until the ult. He didn't jump straight in, because there were a few okay moments to jump in and Stormhammer, and he could have done some damage, but he might not have got his ult off, and that would have been pretty risky. So he played it safe there. His teammates waited long enough in any case, and allowed him to get a more powerful semi-counter initiation off. BKB almost done. Just goes back to stacking. Heals up while he stacks. So also note, he doesn't go all the way back to base, right? He had that fight, he was really low, and this is something that a lot of lower level players will do really often. Helm of the Dominator right now gives 10 HP regen, at least in the aura. I think that also means the item itself does. So he doesn't you don't need to you don't need to go all the way back to base. Plus there was also a shrine up. Don't know if you noticed, but he switched his treads to intelligence when he went for the shrine and cast his Stormhammer. So that was like a double value play. The Stormhammer cost a smaller percentage of his total mana pool, and he healed more HP because he had less HP, because he wasn't on strength treads. So that's one of the another key common but still key efficiency that you need to that you need to have. He even laughs. That's kind of mean. Not necessarily that pro, but yeah, he did finish off the Riki there by hitting a creep and killing the Riki with the cleave. Well played, definitely say, well played. As that's happening, you might have seen it really shortly. He adjusted the creep that he had close to his ancients to make sure to make sure it was in position to stack when the time was right. So even though he is far ahead, he's comfortable. He's got what, 60, 70 last hits over the next guy. He's still stacking. He's still got this in his mind, and I think this is what in the other game what I saw as well, in moments where even in the middle of a team fight this guy was still thinking about getting his stacks off extremely consistently, tried to really not miss too many, and probably takes them consistently whenever there are 3 or 4 stacks. Okay, but Invoker blocked it. Shit happens, I guess. At least he's not flaming his Invoker for having affected that. In any case, he's very focused on taking all these stacks. Almost has a Chrysalis finished. Does have it finished actually. And I think that this is probably a good moment to start closing this game out. The amount of burst damage that Sven will do once he has Chrysalis means that he can take 2 or 3 heroes out quite easily. And sure enough, he's already starting to push a bit. Links away. Honestly, thought that was kind of slow by the OD, but maybe he was slightly out of range. I'm not really the best OD player. So yeah, as he's waiting, just goes back to stacking. Hoped to get the anti-mage, but failed. In any case, just keeps on stacking, and yeah, makes it comfortable. I find it interesting that he does not get a Mask of Madness. I actually thought that one of the reasons Sven's win rate went up was because Mask of Madness has become disassemblable, or you can disassemble it. So what that means is that he can, what's it called? He can disassemble the Mask of Madness and turn part of it into a Bloodthorn, which a lot of carries do get nowadays, and especially on Sven, it's kind of nice because he already builds a Chrysalis, and that allows him to control somebody like an anti-mage. He would need to. So his team's got quite the advantage, so they make sure to take it quite comfortably. Scary though with Magnus, but he's just too tanky. He's got his BKB, took pretty much no damage from that Outworld Devourer ult. And this is another really powerful aspect of Sven, is when he has Blink Dagger, his ability to chase is just really strong. I mean, Warcry, blink behind somebody and stun them, or just get an Echo Saber nuke. You can just wreck people. His team just took Roche, and this guy is still stacking. I don't know. He's got issues or something. Right after the Roche, they know they've got the advantage, and they just push up. Small detail what he did there, he made use of the fact that his Warcry buffs his creeps. So they tank more tower hits, survive longer, which means they're a little stronger. Really good Glimmer Cape by his supports there, allowing him to tank quite a lot of magic damage, which otherwise may have caused some issues. He's stacking while they're taking this. That's ridiculous. He's in the middle of a team fight taking racks, and he's stacking ancients. But okay, note that he has not used the BKB. He has not used his ult. He's pretty much just waiting until... Okay, he is going to BKB now. I don't know if that was... yeah, I don't know about that one. I think he got a little overconfident there. But I guess it didn't necessarily matter what he did. Yeah, he was committed there. He had to stay. But I think those are misplays. Okay, note that he, if you saw really quickly, he bought his, what's it called? He bought his Orchid as he was being imprisoned. He knew he was going to die, so he bought all his items. That's another key thing that you have to start doing if you want to be a better player. Make sure you buy all your items before you die. Another great thing about having creeps dominated. You can be dead, but you can still be creating farm for yourself. You don't need to ask a teammate to do it. You can be stacking camps. And he does that. He just does the things you're supposed to do. Some of this is not even that crazy. It's just playing the way you're supposed to play. I do think I would not advise anybody to start stacking ancients while they're pushing high ground. And that also didn't end up too well. I don't know if it would have gone better if he would have been more focused on it, but in any case, it's a bit of a risk to do that. I wouldn't advise that if you're like under 5k. Other thing, while he's dead, oh wow, does not let other people take his stacks. Okay, that's interesting. That's good to know. Other thing that's clear was he does take a look at his opponents while he's dead. So he is gathering all the information he can while he's out, so to speak. Teammates are going for it. He does see that. He's scared about the anti-mage split push, but anti-mage's TPing over, and he does show up. Yeah, just to clean up Cruise. For those of you who don't know, Echo Saber's first hit slows your opponent attack speed and movement speed, I believe. So that's just another way in which his chasing potential is useful. His team is 17k net worth up, and he's still thinking about stacking. He just has this like super ingrained. Yeah, I think that's probably my biggest takeaway. This guy is always thinking about stacking ancients. He's just always thinking about stacking ancients. I believe this guy has about a 60% win rate or so, over about 900 games. So this isn't just a one-game thing. This is what these are a lot of the things that allow him to be consistent, and this does seem to be kind of his typical game. Has his Bloodthorn, which just provides that much more control against the opponents. Yeah, a lot more damage. He's fine. They're all fine. There's the Mask of Madness, which you could turn into a Satanic as well, but okay, interesting. He got the Mask of Madness, but he has a Bloodthorn already. I think he's just clowning now. Yeah, game's over. Game's over, and he's still thinking about stacking beyond those ages. Insane, this guy. Insane. But yeah, that looks like it's game. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope this helps. It helped me in any case. Let me know if there's anything that I could improve on. Things you'd like to see, heroes that you guys would rather see me cover. And yeah, any feedback is welcome, and thanks again for watching.